Right, you're still watching Newsfeed PM, the late edition with myself, Naledi Molong. Thank you so much for joining us. We start with this story in this hour. 6 suspects have been shot dead in a shootout with police in Mthatha. The shootout occurred on the R61 near Ngcobo. Police say suspects failed to stop when instructed before opening fire on officers. Efforts are underway to identify the deceased while police continue to comb the scene. Eastern Cape Police spokesperson Nobuntu Gantana, of course, joining us now to give us an update. Brigadier, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. We're looking at some of the visuals from the scene, but perhaps a breakdown from your perspective on what it is exactly that we see taking place in this incident.
Good evening, Naledi, and to your viewers at home. What has been reported is that police were following an intelligence-driven operation which was targeted at individuals suspected of involvement in extortion activities within the area. So the police stopped this vehicle and the suspects stopped the vehicle. The suspects then stepped out of the vehicle, and that is when they opened fire on police members, and officers then returned fire in self-defense. This then resulted in the fatal shooting of all the 6 suspects.
Yeah, you talk about how the police are believing that these 6 suspects had been involved in extortion-linked activities. Do we know how they were linked to those extortion activities and what exactly it was that those activities looked like?
We can't really divulge much at this point in time because this all forms part of the investigation.
Yeah, and I speak about it because, of course, recently there were reports of extortion gangs targeting some of the relief organizations in Mthatha wanting to help the most vulnerable. So I know I am trying to pry, but you're unable to share with us that information at this point.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to share that, and whether there are any links to that water, I am unable to share that.
Okay. Do we know the ages of the suspects, just how, if their families have been alerted, just the sort of work that is being done on the scene now as we speak, Brigadier?
At this point in time, the identities, including the ages, are still unknown. We are still busy with the forensic processes to formally identify all 6 suspects.
Yeah. And no one else harmed? Any sort of exposure for civilians in the incident?
Fortunately, there was no one else that was harmed during this incident, and there were no civilians or police officers that were harmed.
Okay. And that, of course, being work that is important. I imagine, though, that in an area like Mthatha, where you are going to continue to have your investigations, that there is a call that's necessary from the public to assist with any information that you may need. What would that look like?
Of course, even though the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, which is IPID, will be continuing with the investigation of this incident, but we are also calling upon the public. Our Crime Stop hotline is open, which is 08600 10111, or the MySteps app, to anyone that might have additional information that could be linked to this case.
Yeah. Well, just quickly before we let you go, the state has the road been cleared? And just how it's impacting on movement of vehicles at this time?
The road is not cleared yet. It is still an active crime scene, and we are also just appealing to the community members to use alternative routes. We are hoping that before this evening progresses any further, then
Okay, some trouble there with Brigadier Nobuntu Gantana on that line, but certainly having really understood what this situation is looking like at the moment, saying the R61 where that incident took place, still very much an active crime scene, so that road still closed off as police continue to do their work. But that story breaking being a shootout occurring on that road near Ngcobo in Mthatha, police having shot dead 6 suspects believed to be linked to extortion activities in the area. And as some more information does come, we will keep you updated.